What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to episode number 517 of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's KB coming at you from Underground Studios, and joining me by the way of the Pitts Cave, the man, the myth, the legend, the people's champ, the host with the most, Mr. Patty Pitts, post Southie St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Yeah, man. You text me, you were like, yeah, pod tonight. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty banged up. You're like, great. I'm like, okay, let's ride. Like, I as long as you're good with it, we had a day for ourselves, and we celebrated my patron saint's holiday in the best fashion that we could.
It was your day.
It really was my day.
You are St. Patrick.
I mean, of course, that's what we got right there. The green, we got, we honor him with our medal, our little Iron Man little right there thing we put. And I'm not kidding you. That was one of the most fun parade experiences I had, especially doing the, little pits on the street vlog, whatever you want to call it, and interviewing somebody. And then out of nowhere, my cousin comes up to me and goes, Pat. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, you're interviewing my friend. I'm like, okay, why are you here?
Pits on parade at the parade.
It was like a multiverse of madness. It was just absolutely incredible.
We'll let Pitts give a teaser of that at the end of the show, but we got a lot to dive into tonight. I'm glad we waited to record this. I was going to record this earlier in the afternoon, and I was like, you know what? I'll wait until World Baseball Classic is kind of winding down, Team USA playing with a chance to go to the final, obviously. But then we had breaking Eagles news, so it was perfect that we waited. We're going to dive into all that. We're going to dive into Sixers and Celtics because obviously Pittsy being Boston man, we got some beef right now. We got a 2 seed to fight for, which is very fun. Company-wise, we're going to talk about the Sixers. We'll dive into the old underground madness, which the Glue guys will also be talking about this week. It's been a unbelievable NCAA tournament. We'll dive into that. We'll dive into the World Baseball Classic. Trey Turner turning into Captain America right before our eyes. But before we get started, Underground Sports Philadelphia is presented by the City of Vineland, our new presenting sponsor. And whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you are considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram. We just cracked 3,300 followers this past week, so shout out to the 3,300 and counting over on the tweet machine. Go follow us on Instagram as well. We've been hella active on Instagram over the past couple of months at Underground PHI. We're closing in on 400 followers over there, trying to build the IG space up there. You can follow us on Facebook as well, facebook.com/Underground Sports PHI. Follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and on Instagram at KBIZZLE11. Follow Pitts on Twitter at Pat_Pitts and at Pittsy35 on Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you decide to get your podcasts. We are there. Leave a 5-star rating and review. It does go a long way for helping the show continue to grow, takes it to new levels that we're trying to take this bad boy in 2023 and beyond. So go subscribe, YouTube.com or Apple, Spotify, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of all of the podcasts on our network, including this show, twice a week. You also get clips, live streams, original content, all of that on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Also, big thank you to our amazing local sponsors who also make this show happen. Main Auto LLC, Security 21 Security Systems, Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated, and the Dental Wellness Center of Vineland. Pitts, we have breaking news as we record this. Had to have you on for it. It just made too much sense.
To be on for it.
It's brought to you by our amazing merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. The best in the game. They are going to be part of our live tailgate podcast series this summer during baseball season. And there's no doubt in our minds that you guys, when you're going down to the Wells Fargo Center for Sixers, Flyers, Wings games, when you're going to Citizens Bank Park, when you're going to the Link this fall, or when you're just going to your local bar, hanging out with the fellas, hanging out with the ladies, whatever it may be, you're going to stand out in the crowd with the unique designs for all that PHI Apparel Company provides. You guys can go to phiapparel.co and use code UNDERGROUND, and you get 10% off any and all merch. Go get your Trea Turner merch. Go get your official exclusive Underground Sports Philadelphia merch. All of it is available. phiapparel.co. Use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off any and all merch. It's the most effective and direct way to support everything we're doing. Pitts, the long national nightmare of waiting for one CJ Gardner-Johnson to sign in free agency has come to a close.
It has.
It is not a positive in terms of the Eagles re-signing CJ Gardner-Johnson.
It's not.
But CJGJ, as he goes by, has signed a 1-year, $8 million contract with your Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions, baby. And I love this signing because the Detroit Lions for so many years now have been the worst passing defense in the entire NFL. And what is the one thing, not only with this signing, but the other acquisitions they've made through free agency so far, what have they been improving? And it's their passing defense. This only solidifies it. You have him now going to probably be the number one corner to pair up with Jeff Okudah, who last year had that finally had that breakout, or at least some signs of positivity to show that, he was worth that second overall pick. Pairing them together, I love it. I love the signing, and goddamn, Lions are back, baby. Fucking love it.
It's
sad. I know
it's a bummer for me because CJ turned into, he was born to play in Philadelphia so quick. Led the NFL in interceptions and didn't even play a full season due to that lacerated kidney injury, but came back just in time for the playoffs. A number of insiders who cover the Philadelphia Eagles. First one I saw was from Jeff McClain from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Tweeted the skinny on why CJ Gardner-Johnson is no longer in Philadelphia. Allegedly, the Eagles made a multi-year offer early in free agency to CJ. He was looking for more money, thought he could get more money on the open market from other teams, so he turned it down, was like, let me go, sift through my what I think my worth is. The Eagles then moved on, re-signed James Bradberry last Tuesday while we were live recording the podcast, which was awesome because that was kind of one of those moves that nobody thought was going to happen. It was almost a foregone conclusion that Bradberry was going to be gone.
I thought he was gone.
And I love that he's back. And then obviously the 3 to 4 hours of turmoil of Darius Slay getting allegedly released to then the Eagles reworking his deal, and he's now back with the Philadelphia Eagles and will more than likely retire an Eagle. So they extended Darius Slay. So then the Eagles moved on, and that was kind of, where they sat with the secondary. Jeff McClain then says he/his agent overvalued, not realizing the market/league viewed him as a risk. So he settled for a prove-it deal. Going to go back into free agency next year. Who knows what happens? Just an interesting I think, timing of the announcement. I feel like that's been the case for a lot of free agent signings this offseason.
Yeah.
They've just been coming at all hours.
Yeah, Sunday at I mean an hour before we went live, like 9. You know, it's that's the weird thing about free agency now that I'm kind of trying to figure out what they're doing with it is that it feels like when you least expect it or there's a real lull, you just get at least one name, whether it's a big name, whether it's a niche hometown name that gets put out there, and then it becomes big. It's very interesting how it's gone down right now.
Yeah, because I mean, between that and we'll get into another signing, which was one of those other like kind of foregone conclusion losses for the Eagles with Isaac Seumalo. That happened at like 11:30 last night. Last night being Saturday night, so that was like, geez, these guys are working at all hours on these free agent
Schefter
contracts.
doesn't sleep. Schefter doesn't sleep.
Insane. It's a bummer that CJ's gone, but I think the fact that the Eagles were able to bring back James Bradbury at the number that they brought him back at, 3 years, $38 million, and then rework Darius Slay's contract to essentially be like a 2-year extension. To have those guys back as your defensive back duo, you saw the performance that Reed Blankenship had from the moment he stepped on the field to replace CJ last year when he got injured. Reed stepped in and stepped up like he was, a proven veteran, and he was an undrafted free agent and was the first undrafted free agent safety to play in the Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles in franchise history. He played exceptionally well. You have 2 first-round draft picks this year. Free agency is a wild place. If you remember back in 2017, LeGarrette Blount didn't sign until like May. The Eagles didn't trade for A.J. Brown until draft night last year. Things are just getting started. Free agency started a week ago. It feels like it's been an eternity, but it started a week ago. There's still so much that can go down. It sucks on the surface that CJ's gone, but I think part of it played into the fact too, not only did the Eagles, say, hey, we got to focus on continuing to build this team and making it the best it can be, so we got to move in a different direction now that you don't want to accept the offer we're giving you. I think that's part of it, and then I think the other part of the decision for CJ to go to Detroit is the familiarity with 2 coaches on the coaching staff, being Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn. They were both in New Orleans when he was in New Orleans, so that's a familiarity factor for him. And it looks like CJ is trying to wear number 2 with the Lions. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out for him. I mean, I think it's a good opportunity for him in the sense that now with we're at the finish line of the Aaron Rodgers saga for the Packers, pretty much.
Just waiting. God.
The Lions, it's going to be between them and obviously the Bears doing a lot this offseason. Those 2 teams now are kind of on a collision course of who's going to win the NFC North. But CJ's in a prime opportunity to get back to the playoffs on a prove-it deal, and then we'll see what the safety market is like going into the 2024 offseason. Yeah, maybe he cashes in then.
That's where I see him really cashing in the position in 2024. The Lions are a great place for him to go because they're hungry. And if you look at what Dan Campbell's done, people chatter, people talk around the league. And I would not be surprised if Lions players are like saying to their buddies around the league, like, hey, shit's different in Detroit now. We got a legit club. We got a bunch of hungry dudes. And I mean, Hard Knocks was just, I would say a Costco free sample of just like what the Lions can do, what, their identity is. They're going to be a fun team to watch. And I think they would be the Eagles' biggest competition for a repeat at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I still feel great about what the Eagles have done this offseason. Have they lost some key contributors? Absolutely. But shout out to Ari at My Sports Update. He's actually, awesome. Was giving the Eagles credit for what Howie Roseman did last year in the draft. Because obviously The Eagles have lost Javon Hargrave. They've lost TJ Edwards. And, some key contributors as I'm trying to pull up the tweet here. Because it is, a testament to how good Howie Roseman is at this whole here it is. So the Eagles 2022 draft will be tasked with taking a big step forward next season. Philly drafted last year, preparing for what's to come. Round 1, Jordan Davis plays Javon Hargrave. Plus, on top of that, they drafted Milton Williams the year prior. So, they've been Howie builds through the trenches. That is Howie Roseman's philosophy. Round 2, Jason Kelsey's handpicked center replacement, Cam Jurgens. He's going to be playing guard now with Isaac Seumalo, signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers last night, which we'll get into as well. And then last year, round 3, Nakobe Dean. You lose TJ Edwards. I think everybody's ready to watch Nakobe Dean cook and
ready to
be
watch Nakobe
the
Dean.
projected first-round pick that a lot of people thought he was going to be. But what the Eagles have done, on top of Slay, Bradbury, they brought back Jason Kelsey, brought back Brandon Graham, brought back Fletcher Cox. And like we've mentioned on this show, I said, give those 3 one-year deals until they're ready to hang it up, which it's like Howie Roseman listens to the podcast. They bring back Slay and Bradbury. Then they've gone out and they've made key additions to this team. Miles Sanders goes and gets the bag from Carolina. Salute to Miles Sanders. Very happy for him. Deserves it. He's going to a prime situation for him to thrive in Carolina, reunited with Deuce Staley in an offense that is pseudo-familiar to him because Frank Reich worked with Doug Peterson, and that was, when Miles Sanders was with the Eagles for 2 years with Doug. But the Eagles go and sign Rashad Penny, which we talked about on Tuesday's episode, for a contract that is laughable for the talent that Rashad Penny has as long as he stays healthy. $1.35 million for Rashad Penny behind the Eagles' offensive line is crazy.
That's ridiculous.
The Eagles also re-signed Boston Scott, so get ready for whenever the Eagles play the Giants to bet on him to score some touchdowns.
Over under 4.5 touchdowns. Just hammer it. Just hammer it.
Then Gardner Minshew goes to the Colts. Makes a ton of sense for him to go with Shane Steichen. But then the Eagles fulfill everybody's 2015 Philadelphia Eagles fan fiction. Chip Kelly is rolling over in his grave at UCLA, and Marcus Mariota is a Philadelphia Eagle, signs a one-year, $5 million contract to be the backup. And I can't tell you, Pitts, how happy I am that Marcus Mariota's here. Not even from the sense of like my twisted, demented 2015 Philadelphia Eagles brain.
That ridiculous reason, which I stand with. But yeah, what's this reason?
So Marcus Mariota is 2 years older. No, I'm sorry. He's the same age. Really? He's like a month older than. No, I was looking at the wrong person. I was right. He's like 2 years older than Gardner Minshew. So he's a little bit older, been in the league a little bit longer.
Yep. Mariota's
won a playoff game when he was with the Titans. And he said this in an interview, I think with a radio station in Hawaii when he signed. He's experienced almost every facet of NFL quarterbacking that you can experience outside of like the Super Bowl. He's been a starter, been a backup. He's won a playoff game. He's been injured. He's kind of gone through the ringer. He's, seen different ways of being a quarterback in the NFL. He was a starter with the Titans with high expectations, being that number 2 overall pick. Goes to Oakland/Vegas and is a backup there behind Derek Carr.
But still when he got in did well.
Yeah, and then last year goes to Atlanta to be the starter and help guide Desmond Ridder along a little bit as they prepare to, kind of have that change in the guard, kind of be a stopgap quarterback. Marcus Mariota's skill set, in my opinion, in terms of hopefully Jalen Hurts stays healthy, and the only time we see Marcus Mariota is in blowouts or the Eagles have already clinched, and it's like, let's keep Jalen healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mariota's skill set mirrors being like a poor man's Jalen Hurts. He still has his legs. He can run, which is super important for this offense. He can still throw the deep ball. Is his accuracy, what it was at Oregon or early on in his career? No, but he can still get the ball down the field, and the Eagles have the receiving weapons to make him look more accurate than he is. I think Marcus Mariota, like, if you need him, he can win 2 or 3 games for you. as a backup. And he can also, as long as the NFL doesn't get stupid, he can run that QB sneak play better than Gardner Minshew could ever dream of.
I think if you put Mariota in Minshew's position last year, where they lost those 2 games,
The Eagles win that Saints game with Mariota.
they win that Saints game 100%. And, I'm the first person to trash on Mariota, but, you got to give credit where credit's due. And Mariota knows how to come in to a situation and do a job. He knows how to get it done. It may not be pretty. It may not be, the flashiest play, but the job's going to get done. That's exactly what you want a backup quarterback to be, especially one like Jalen Hurts, where I think it balls to the wall even more so this year than last for that, Super Bowl.
And, to have Mariota, if he does have to play behind the Eagles' offensive line, too, similar ilk to Rashad Penny. Like, Mariota's never played behind an offensive line as talented and as skilled and as experienced as the Eagles' offensive line in his career.
I would agree with that, absolutely.
So that's
Titans
a huge benefit.
That good of an offensive line, yeah.
That's a huge benefit for him. And I like that, not that Minshew wasn't a great backup. He's a great vibes guy. I think he's going to be great in Indy with whatever quarterback they end up with. I just think in terms of skill set to skill set kind of quarterback, what you want to do in the NFL is have a quarterback that is like a poor man's version of your starter, essentially, because nobody's going to.
What a backup! Yeah, I mean, not to try to be like an asshole when I say this, but like that's basically what you want,
right? Like, I mean, even look at the Eagles in 2017, Wentz to Foles, like similar skill sets. Like you look at
Wentz, Foles, poor.
Even look at early Patriots, like Bledsoe to Brady, similar kind of quarterbacks. You look at Favre and Rodgers, similar quarterbacks. Like you want a guy who can do a lot of the same things that your starter can do, but just not as talented, because that's why he's a backup. If he was as talented, he'd be a starter.
Yeah, Rodgers and Favre in more ways than one were very similar. Don't like that career trajectory, but that is a topic for another time. Because I don't want to go down that road. Let's talk positive things, Kyle. Let's talk about fun things like the.
And I mean, even look at replacing a quarterback. Look at what the Seahawks did last year, moving on from Russ and then Geno Smith.
Bro, that might have been the move of the year. I mean, I swear to God, that might have been one of the best free agent signings or trades. However he got there, I just forget at the moment of the year. I mean, just look at what he did to that franchise when everyone counted them out. It's incredible.
So, I mean, you want a quarterback who can do a lot of the same things skill set wise that your starter does, and Mariota, I think, fits that bill in a lot of ways for Jalen Hurts. Nobody's Jalen Hurts, obviously, but
nobody is. He's 101. He's 101.
And then the Eagles signed Greedy Williams to a 1-year contract. The details on that contract haven't come out yet, but it's been reported that he's coming to the Eagles, which is exciting. He's going to be a backup corner. He's going to play behind either Bradbury or Slay or Vontae Maddox, and kind of be that rotational corner that you need. He'll play special teams. He's only 25 years old, former second-round pick.
Insane.
I think it's a great depth signing for the Eagles. Doesn't affect any like comp pick stuff, which we'll get into as well. The Eagles have a shit ton of comp picks, everybody. So like a whole, pump the brakes a little bit on the Howie Roseman slander, but a few other free agents out there for the Eagles right now as of this recording. They'll re-sign Rick Lovato. Like, I feel like that's a foregone conclusion. He's one of the best long snappers in the NFL, and he's been here since John Dorenbos, got traded, and then it come to find out he had a heart condition, so he had to retire. So the trade saved his life. Robert Quinn, who I think is not going to re-sign. He just looked extremely old last year once the Eagles traded for him, so that's a bummer, but we'll see what happens there. I would love if Sue ran it back and played one more year. I thought he was very effective for the Eagles last year when he came in mid-season, but we'll see what happens there.
That's
He's 36, which is wild to think about, that Ndamukong Suh is 36 years old. Linval Joseph, also a free agent. He's 34. Would also love Linval back if possible on a 1-year deal. Zach Pascal's a free agent. He's fine. If he's back, he's back. If he's not, he's not. And then Tyree Jackson, who I think will get signed and be on the practice squad as a
Yeah.
third tight end type of situation.
Yep. I
Um,
agree.
but I think overall, like Eagles free agent wise, like we knew Javon Hargrave was going to be gone. We knew Isaac Seumalo was probably going to be gone. We knew Miles Sanders was going to be gone. I think the fact that you got James Bradbury back, Darius Slay is still here, and you already drafted replacements for a lot of these positions that you were going to end up losing last year and the year prior. Plus, you're adding like quality pieces across the board. I think the Eagles are having a great offseason coming off of a Super Bowl appearance.
It started slow, and I actually got a little worried for the Eagles at first because it didn't look so good. But I think we're only a week, which is crazy that it's only been a week, and the Eagles come back and even losing to CJ. It's still a good offseason, which is crazy to think that you still have these guys like Jason Kelsey. I was talking about today. Jason Kelsey to return. Fletcher Cox returning, and all these guys. It just they have one mission, and it's pretty clear at this point if they're coming back.
Derek Gunn just tweeted he's very tapped in with the Eagles to an extent as well. Said sources say a week ago the Eagles offered CJ Gardner-Johnson a 3-year deal, 2 years guaranteed for more money total than the 1 year he signed with Detroit. More to this story, I'm sure, will eventually come out.
Interesting.
And I don't want to make like any assumptions about CJ or anything, but Ralph Marlboro, big time friend of the program, comes on Eagles Enemies every year the Eagles play the Saints. Does a fantastic job covering the Saints. Go check out the Saints Happy Hour podcast too. Like it's a very fun show. He tweeted a couple of tweets about CJ. So he said, yeah, he led the NFL in interceptions and got less guaranteed money than 30-year-old Honey Badger got last May. Words out, he's crazy and a problem, and nobody would pay him. And then followed up with, the Eagles didn't fleece the Saints for CD. They rented a 1-year crazy person who is a major locker room problem. There are reasons Saints got nothing for him in a trade, and also why Philly wouldn't pay him after he led the league in interceptions.
And that's my question to you is that were there any rumblings of that during the season?
Not that I know of.
I feel like
on the surface, like everyone said, he's a phenomenal teammate. Like, did all the right things. Like, who knows? I know that was like a big rumor about why the Saints traded him and everything. But like, never any reports that I ever saw that like he was bad locker room, bad teammate type of situation. I think most of it comes down to the fact that the Eagles offered him money. He thought he was worth more. Tried to go test the market. We see what the safety market has turned into so far in free agency. And if your name's not Jesse Bates, you're not getting a lot of money at the safety position. Plus, CJ's kind of like a converted safety. He was a slot corner turned safety. So, I mean, yeah, he balled out last year, went to the Super Bowl, probably has more interceptions if he plays a full season. But I think most of it just comes down to the fact that he thought he was worth more. The Eagles said, try and get it, which they did to James Bradbury. They did that to Darius Slay. That's why the whole Darius Slay seeking a trade storyline came out. That's part of negotiations, everybody. That's what James Bradbury did. They said, go see what you can get on the open market. Just give us a chance to match. And I'm sure the Eagles said the same thing. CJGJ felt disrespected from that aspect. Didn't get what he thought he was worth. They misevaluated the market, and that's why he's a Detroit Lion instead of a Philadelphia Eagle. So I have no ill will towards CJ Gardner-Johnson. He's still one of my favorite players. Like, he's got swagger and confidence that the Detroit fans are going to love. And that's NFL free agency, baby.
Kyle, yes, we are gonna love it. It's gonna be awesome.
So I'm okay.
Walker left. That was sad.
Isaac Seumalo going to the Steelers sucks, but I think he's going to be phenomenal there. That signing makes a ton of sense because Andy Weidel's their GM. He was here with Howie Roseman as the assistant GM, helped draft Isaac Seumalo in 2016. We all knew Isaac Seumalo was going to get the bag. Makes a ton of sense. So I'm very happy for all of the Eagles that are getting the bag right now. Like, go get your bag. You went to the Super Bowl. You earned it. You helped this team get to the Super Bowl. Obviously, we didn't win it, and a lot of that has to do with the guy who's now coaching in Arizona, but, that's that on that. But I think another part of CJ choosing Detroit, like I mentioned, is Dan Campbell's there, Aaron Glenn's there. It's a familiarity factor, and that's why he's there. Because the Broncos thing never made sense to me outside of Sean Payton, and I truly don't think Sean Payton and CJ Gardner-Johnson got along that well.
No, I don't. I don't see that being a thing. No.
Because that was the rumor. It was like between the Eagles and the Broncos, and I was like, the Broncos? The what?
Broncos suck. I don't care who he put as their head coach. They suck.
NFL free agency, baby. You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
The most wonderful time of the year.
Cheers to CD Deuce. Go do your thing in Detroit.
Cheers. My H2O.
Pitts, moving on to what we have enjoyed, and there's been, you want to talk about vehement discourse and just like venom on the timeline. The World Baseball Classic, everybody. It's brought to you by our amazing partners over at Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. You guys can go to tomahawkshades.com, check out all their sunglasses, blue light glasses, and everything in between that they have to offer. Spring is on the way. Plus, Pitts and I, along with DJ and a bunch of people at our company, subscribe to the fact that you need sunglasses year-round, not just when the sun is out.
Year-round. I don't care what season it is. There's 4 of them, and you need 4 pairs of sunglasses.
Pitts, you had your Tomahawk Shades on at the parade today.
I did. I had them on for a little bit. Then I got handed the Shamrock Shades, and I was like, I can't look at green through these eyes. This is a lot right now.
He said, give me back the Tomahawks.
And I threw them back on, and we're like, what's popping? And I went and videoed with more people. It was awesome. So, and I kept my eyes protected because of my Tomahawk Shades.
And we've been wearing our blue light glasses, when we're editing videos and audio and watching the World Baseball Classic. Former World Baseball Classic participant, John Jay.
Oh, what's up?
Part owner of Tomahawk Shades. So go to tomahawkshades.com, use promo code USP at checkout, and you get 25% off your order from our friends at Tomahawk Shades. That's promo code USP for 25% off at tomahawkshades.com. Pittsy, the World Baseball Classic, has thrown the timeline into a tizzy.
Oh, this is a lot right now.
Team USA wins tonight. They are finals bound for the second straight WBC. But so many people, and by so many people, I mean
the purist.
I'm sorry. AJ Brown just tweeted, that's like he getting upset at you because you left Ruth Chris to work at McDonald's and he harassed you. That's your decision. Do better. I love AJ Brown.
Oh, me too. That's really good.
The baseball purists, the Mets fans, and just people who
I know why they would
hate fun. They hate fun.
Mets fans do hate fun.
Saying the World Baseball Classic is a joke. It's meaningless. Blah 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 blah. I want everyone to know that every game from the weekend wraparound into the finals for the World Baseball Classic sold out. Tickets are sold out.
I know that. Oh, wow.
And every single player who's competing has said that they want to win this more than they want to win a World Series. It means that much to them. You see clips of Mike Trout celebrating and having fun for the first time in his baseball career. Excited Mike Trout. You see Trea Turner hit that fucking moonshot of a grand slam last night against Venezuela to win the game for Team USA. And greeting him are Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto at the plate. And he said that's the greatest accomplishment of his baseball career to date. So many guys are just all in on this, and they want everyone to know how special the World Baseball Classic is and just how much importance it brings. It truly is the World Cup for baseball. And Randy Arozarena playing for Team Mexico, which if you haven't seen that full story, I'll have to send you. Did you see that thread?
Hey, Arozarena.
Hi. Like that thread about his story of how he's able to play for Team Mexico is like beautiful. So I'll
I
send
gotta
that to you
look at it.
to read, and
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
crazy. Like
I got
because one injury happens to an amazing player. Like don't get it twisted. Even though he plays for the Mets, Edwin Diaz is a great closer. He's a great pitcher. It sucks that he's out for the year with that patella injury.
Yeah, that fucking just sucks. I like, yeah.
But don't kid yourself that the fact that the injury happened in the World Baseball Classic. The very next day, Brandon Nimmo got hurt in spring training. Should we cancel spring training too for meaningless games? Like, I get you're upset and I get you're emotional about this happening, but like, look at all of the fact that the best player on the planet, our guy, Shohei Ohtani, started the WBC with 1.7 million followers on Instagram. Nothing to sneeze at. Pittsy, you want to know how many followers he has on Instagram right now as of this
Probably
recording?
astronomical.
The last time I checked, it was more than double. But I'm going to check it right now. As of this recording, Shohei Ohtani is now at 3.7 million followers. He has gained 2 million Instagram followers since the WBC started.
Okay, Kyle, you are just feeding right into my theory about how, or not theory, but whatever word you want to call it, of how baseball needs to market themselves better. And that right there just proves my point that tournaments like this or different shit is exactly how you market these players to bring business into your league. It's brilliant. It really is.
And on top of that, last night, while March Madness is going on, the top 3 trending topics in the U.S., Trea Turner, World Baseball Classic, Team USA. Top 3 trending sports topics on Twitter last night.
It's new. It's interesting. And people watching March Madness, I feel like more people now have more than one TV in their room. So they want to watch as much as possible and they're interested in it. And we're at a place now where because we have players like Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, all that. Mookie Betts,
Trea Turner, JT,
like they're guys that people want to see play if they're playing. So they're gonna find a way to watch it, whether it is on their TV or they're gonna watch it on their phone. Like it's a great thing for baseball.
I saw people I was clicking through my Instagram story, people who were on vacation for weddings in different states had an iPad out watching Team Puerto Rico play. They were we're not missing the game. People care about this. Baseball is such a global sport now, and it's people want to play baseball. People care about baseball. They care about competitive baseball. And that's the thing, too. People are watching this because it's meaningful and competitive baseball.
Yes.
I will 1,000% be watching World Baseball Classic games over some meaningless spring training game that the Phillies are playing in, simply because I'll get to watch 3 of my favorite players, Trea Turner, Kyle Schwarber, JT Realmuto, as long as Mark DeRosa puts them in the fucking lineup, over, prospects that I care about, but it's not as competitive. They're not
it's
gonna
not.
play an entire game. These games are passionate. You see the hype in the crowd. You see the hype on the players' faces. No matter who wins the other semifinal game on Tuesday, whether it's Mexico or Japan, guys, that game on Tuesday is going to be rowdy. Team USA versus Team Mexico or Team USA versus Team Japan. There's so many storylines across the board. USA Mexico, that is just pure North American, let's duke it out heavyweight fight. Team USA versus Japan, you have Trout versus Ohtani. And Japan, one of the baseball superpowers.
It really is.
Who have dominated their portion of the bracket in the WBC. It's going to be electric, and I can't wait. Team USA has some of the best superstars on their roster, and if he wasn't hurt, Bryce Harper would be playing on the. Imagine Bryce Harper's passion during this World Baseball Classic if he was playing. Good night.
He would be electric.
Good night.
He would be electric social media.
Oh
content.
my God! If Harper smashed a home run, I would be the levitating SpongeBob meme with Travis Scott playing, just because like his passion is unmatched.
It really
and like to see, like, I would have paid money to see Bryce Harper's full-blown reaction to Trea Turner's grand slam against Venezuela.
Oh,
that's his boy. They're best
one,
friends.
like,
They're teammates again now. Like, it would have been unbelievable.
That's how you make baseball fun again.
And
it's brilliant.
This is my call out here, because I would love to have him on, because he has been caping even harder for the WBC than we have. We've been in on it since the jump, but I'm calling him out right now. Jared Carabas, come on the pod.
Yo,
would love to talk WBC.
My guy.
Would love to talk WBC with Jared.
Yeah, I want to hear his thoughts about the tribal chief too.
I want nothing more than
me,
you, Jared, talking WBC.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
Let's make it happen. Carabas, come on the pod. But World Baseball Classic's been electric. People have been talking about it. Your casual fans have been talking about it. And I think especially like here, because there are so many Phillies on the roster, when somebody from the Phillies does something, Schwarber with that home run that he had in the opening round, Trea Turner the past couple of nights now, JT has just been on fire, because that's what the best catcher in baseball does. Like, people care. They want to see their guys playing competitive baseball, and that's what the WBC is. It's okay to be upset that one of your star players got injured. But don't say that the World Baseball Classic is meaningless because it doesn't mean something to you personally.
Agreed.
It means so much to the people competing. The guys want, you look at all the teams that are playing, and they've got like their best of the best pitchers pitching for them. Where Team USA, it's kind of lacking a little bit. It's not the best of it. Like, imagine if you had some of the best pitchers on the planet pitching for Team USA. The guys are trying to convince the pitchers to take that lead. This is going to be a surprising thing for a lot of people. I typically don't align with a lot of things John Smoltz says. He's not my favorite commentator.
I'm shocked. I am shocked.
He said something tonight on the broadcast that made so much sense, that was combating the negativity towards the WBC. You look at Edwin Diaz getting hurt. Jose Altuve got injured last night. He's going to be out 2 to 3 months with a fractured finger. So that's a bummer, too, for the Astros and, just baseball as a whole. No matter how you feel about Altuve, like, it sucks. When he's one of the best players in baseball, it sucks that they're not out there. But you can't go into – it's like going into spring training with this mindset, but you can't go into any baseball situation or any sports situation thinking, what if I get hurt? What if I get injured? You can't go in thinking like that, because then you're just going to hold yourself back from being able to compete at the highest level, because you're going to have that message in the back of your head, like, just creeping up on you at all times, and you're not going to play your best.
And you're going to always have that thought that whatever move I make, it could lead to an injury. And when that happens, just the way the world works, when you fixate on something, even, positive or negative, it's bound to happen. So when you fixate on an injury, that's when the more probability it's going to happen. You can't go in with that mindset, like you said. And also for the fans, like, you getting mad about it is just because of the sheer fact that you can't step out of the box and see the big picture of the event, or you're kind of just looking at it from your lens, where it's like, no, this is a good thing for baseball. It's a good thing for the players and whatever. But the issue is not the event itself. It's just like what you said. What happens if it happens in spring training? I'm regurgitating the same points, but yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. You can't go into it with that mindset. And a little update here. CJ Gardner-Johnson just tweeted, "Thank you, Philly organization. Definitely was a hell of a ride." Prayer hands emoji. So seems like no ill will from CJ.
No ill will there. No.
But yeah, I mean, The World Baseball Classic's been so entertaining. Like, that is on my bucket list of, like, events I'd love to go to.
I would
Like,
love to go
the
to.
next one, when it comes around in 4 years, which will be 2026, 2027, I would love to go because the games in the U.S., too, have been unbelievable. Arizona and Miami have had unbelievable atmospheres, unbelievable just crowds, and I'd love to be a part of that. So putting it on the bucket list of attending the WBC, and looking forward to the championship game Tuesday night. It's going to be electric. We might live stream it depending on what we have going on here, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I think this year the WBC has been unbelievable, especially with the superstars playing for Team USA.
Yeah,
In the past,
been
like
electric.
it's been so hit or miss with like the stars playing, and now that you've had superstars playing for Team USA, it's really fun to watch, and seeing these guys play in what the All-Star game is like chalked up to be, but it's competitive and you're playing against the best in the world. So Team USA going for a back-to-back title on Tuesday against either Mexico or Japan, and that's going to be fucking electric. Pitts, let's give the people a little Underground Madness update. It's brought to you by our awesome energy partners over at W Energy, who have been keeping us energized all tournament long, and they keep us energized all the time. W was tired of big energy brands, just valuing profit and not doing the right things. They were tired of big energy favoring profit over quality and making energy drinks loaded with jitters, maltodextrin filler, which, Pitts, I did find out, truly, I looked this up, maltodextrin filler.
Yes, please inform me.
That is when companies put in for lack of a better term, like artificial things to fill up the product as a whole, to make it seem like the bag or the container is more full, and it's got additives and preserves to like make things look and feel more full than it actually is.
Okay, interesting.
W doesn't do that. You're getting what you're paying for, and I love that for them. They were tired of energy drinks with artificial colors and dyes, like that garbage Red 40 that comes in a bunch of the red drinks that you guys see out there, sugars and other BS. Just take a peek for yourself on the nutrition labels of all the energy drinks you may be drinking right now. They grew upset with these types of energy drinks and decided to wage the war on big energy by releasing their own energy drinks, which are cleaner and jitter and crash free. Pitts and I can confirm this. We have had the product. It is absolutely unbelievable.
Don't jitter. It's really cool.
It's great.
It's really nice.
It's so nice. And it's like tasty. Like, it's delicious flavors.
The Galaxy Grenade is easily my favorite.
It's so good. So here's to paving the road for a better future for energy drinks, where the status quo is no longer profits over quality, where quality matters, and where energy drinks don't get a bad rap for being unhealthy and harmful to consume. And guys, they just had a huge restock on a bunch of their product, including the Big Energy Tears drink tub, which is the blue raspberry flavor that I have coming to the studio this week. It just shipped right before we started recording. I can't wait to try this flavor. Also back in stock, the Passion Joy tea, which is passion fruit iced tea, the Push and Punch fruit punch flavor, the Beach and Peach, which I'm sipping on right now, the white peach mango cooler, and within the next week, back in stock will be the Dub Sludge, which is the green apple and secret sauce, and Pitts' flavor of choice that he got with his shaker cup starter pack, the Galaxy Grenade in tub form.
I gotta get that for my work. That's gonna energize me to sling some fish.
Which, if you need to know what the flavor is there for the people, it is watermelon, guava, and lime explosion.
Yeah, that's 2 out of the 3 favorite things in my taste buds. I'll tell you that.
And if you need to, just stay hydrated, but maybe you're trying to cut back on caffeine a little bit, they've got the caffeine-free Monkey Madness Hydro Hydration, which is strawberry banana flavored. So you can go to w.gg, use code Underground, you get 10% off any and all orders. They're the best. It's an effective and direct way to support us. Go clean up your energy game. And my favorite tagline of theirs, Pitts, is just be better. Be better.
I get told that all the time. Just be better.
W.GG, code underground, 10% off your order. Be better with W.
Be better, Pitts. Be better.
Pitt's Underground Madness is
And
here.
this is exactly where we need to be better because holy shit, my bracket.
What a tournament it has been. We have one game left for opening weekend that is playing right now. They're in the second half, TCU and Gonzaga. But the Sweet 16 round is going to be one hell of a ride, and I just looked at my bracket right now. I am currently tied for second in Underground Madness.
There's no fucking way.
I don't know how. It might have been because the old boys at FAU got the job done and Miami got the job done against Indiana, and I might have picked both of those. So shout out to the boys. It's been a wild bracket. Just looking, from the round of 64 to the round of 32. Crazy upsets. We had another 16 beat a 1. Shout out to FDU.
I really didn't think it was going to be possible again, but they fucking did it. That dude is so big on Purdue. I said it on our stream that we did. I was like, I'm all in on this guy. They showed that highlight of him.
7'4" Zach Edey goes down to the Fairleigh Dickinson University Knights.
Dude.
And we had a 13 seed upset Virginia. Furman, the Paladins, shout out.
I called that from the jump. If you go back in reactions or whatever, what I called, they would predict. They would win.
We had Arizona lose in the opening round to Princeton. Shout out to the Ivy League.
Shout out to Jersey, dude. Are you kidding me?
New Jersey bracket busters. What can we say?
They're better than you.
Duke goes down in the round of 32. It's a great day when the Blue Devils lose.
Yeah.
It's a great day. I think the most I said this on the stream. The most entertaining game we would get would be that Memphis FAU game. And boy, oh boy, was it a roller coaster ride, but FAU got the job done. Shout out to the Owls. That game was super entertaining. We had Marquette go down in the round of 32 today to Michigan State. It's January, February. Izzo. Yeah. Tom Izzo strikes again in March. He's going on to the Sweet 16.
Dude, Marquette was in my Final Four. That is just fucking terrible. Okay.
Kentucky loses. This is the first time since 1980 that we do not have a single blue blood school in the Sweet 16.
Somebody's taking the red pill.
We had Pittsburgh wins in the opening round, the 11 seed upsetting. They were a play-in team as well. They upset Iowa State. You can never trust Iowa State in the tournament. I told you guys that on the live stream. Texas A&M made me look like an absolute buffoon. They got mollywopped by Penn State in the opening round.
I knew
Kansas loses to Arkansas in the round of 32.
That's
crazy
insane.
game there. UConn made St. Mary's look like a joke. They're moving on to the Sweet 16. UCLA handled business. They're moving on as well as they await the winner of TCU and Gonzaga. Miami moves on. They're playing Houston. And then the Sweet 16 right now looks like this, Pitts. It'll be Alabama versus San Diego State, who move on to the Sweet 16 for the first time, I think, since 2014. Shout out to Stephen McAvoy, the Mountain West repping in the Sweet 16. Only team from the Mountain West to win any of their games. Creighton will play Princeton in the other side of the South bracket. It'll be FAU versus Tennessee in the East, as well as Kansas State and Michigan State. The Midwest, it'll be Houston and Miami, and then Xavier and Texas. And then we have Arkansas versus UConn, and then the winner of Gonzaga TCU against UCLA.
Arkansas UConn's gross.
Shout out to Eric Musselman getting shirtless for the people. Did you see that clip?
No, I did not.
He walked over to the stands, took his shirt off, and was waving it around and hit a woo pig suey.
I love that. I love.
Shout out to the Must Bus, man.
This is March.
We have two 4 seeds remaining. We have two 2 seeds. We have 2 1 seeds. 2 1 seeds make it to the Sweet 16. Houston, and Alabama. And then the lowest possible seed remaining is number 15, Princeton. As the only double-digit seed to make it through.
That's wild to me.
Followed by number 9, FAU.
FAU, Cinderella. They're going to be the Cinderella.
I have them as a Cinderella. They are in my Elite Eight. Yeah,
Okay,
I have them in my Elite Eight.
I haven't beaten Texas.
I almost had them in my Final Four, but I had Kentucky in my Final Four.
Oh, that's brutal. That's tough.
But I still have 3 out of my 4 Final Four teams, which is exciting. And I have 5 out of my 8 Elite Eight.
Let's go. Those are good odds.
So it's a great look right now for the boy.
Pretty good look. It's a pretty good look.
Right now, a little update on Underground Madness, our annual bracket challenge tournament, which tons of prizes up for grabs. We got some great merch in the works for some of the top finishers as well with PHI Apparel Company. But right now, Red Dub Hawks is in first place all alone with 430 points. Still waiting on 1 game left, obviously, with Gonzaga and TCU. And then there is a 6-way tie for second with 420 points. Myself in there as well. Pretty wild stuff. And then it goes down to a tie for 8th, 14th, 21st, 25th, and then keeps on chugging along. But of the teams with 420 points, I am tied for second most points available, and everyone tied for second except for one has more maximum points available than our first place champion right now.
Okay, nice.
1,520 points available for the boys still, so let's go. Let's go. We're trying to
win
the bracket.
Let's grab them. Let's catch them all.
Great bracket turnout this year, though. We have a group of 70 plus, which is by far, I think, the most we have ever had. Definitely supersedes last year. So shout out to everybody that's been in our bracket, and we'll get an update out for the people early in the morning with the standings for Underground Madness. But we said it on the stream on Sunday for Selection Sunday. This was going to be the most unpredictable March Madness we have had in such a long time.
It's been very unpredictable.
There's no definitive, top dog type of teams. Every team kind of has their own flaws, so it was going to be an unpredictable tournament regardless.
Yeah, no, it's been very unpredictable. And you're just having teams that come in, have the most hype, and they just get upset. It's upset city this year, which, that just shows college basketball. It doesn't matter. Any given tournament game.
And third straight year we've had a 15 upset of 2. Second time in history we've had a 16 upset of 1.
And within a 3-year span too.
Shout out to UMBC. Whoever runs UMBC's Twitter account, phenomenal job.
Oh, they tweeted all the money in the world.
They tweeted the gif of Milhouse from The Simpsons, us for the last whatever it was 3 or 4 years, and just tossing the frisbee to himself.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And then they were like, "We have a friend now."
We have a friend, don't you?
They did a phenomenal job tweeting, and they also said, "Hey, you can congratulate FDU while not, bagging on Purdue and attacking them. It's college athletics. I loved everything UMBC's Twitter admin did. So shout out to them. Big props. I'm already geared up for next weekend. I'm excited for Sweet 16, Elite 8.
Yeah.
It's one of the best times of the year, and it's crazy that the first weekend is coming to a close. It's felt like an eternity with just the amount of games, and I took off from the day job on Thursday this year, and it was just wow, this is peak sports fandom. It's just
it really
4 straight days of March Madness.
There's nothing like it. I agree.
So yeah, shout out to March Madness. Shout out to everybody who's participating in Underground Madness. If you don't already, I want to get ahead of this. If you don't already, hopefully everybody who's competing listens to the pod as well. Have your bracket named with your Twitter handle. Please do that so we can have the easiest way of finding you if you
Yeah.
do end up winning. It is difficult to navigate if we don't know your Twitter handle
That's
to
gonna be very.
DM
That's
you
gonna be
to get you prizes and
a
stuff
wild
like that.
goose hunt.
So, make
That'll
sure
be
you do
wild
that.
goose
Make
chase.
sure you do that. But Pitts, let's wrap up with Sixers Celtics talk.
Thank
It's
God.
it's
Do it.
brought to you by our awesome partners over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer of Underground Sports Philadelphia.
Too many of those today.
You got to gear up for every sporting event going on with our boys at Kenwood Beer. Use that all new and improved Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. You can also get it at your local liquor store if you're in the Philly area, your local Home Goods as well if you're in Eastern Pennsylvania. Kenwood Beer, it is it's the most magical time of the year. They are the best light beer in Philadelphia. It's the beer that loves you back. KenwoodBeer.com is the place to check out all their information. It's 4.1% ABV, 127 calories, 10 grams of carbs, light body, light calories, plenty of flavor, the best light beer on the planet, KenwoodBeer.com. Must be 21 or older to consume and purchase. And, of course, please drink responsibly. Pittsy, Sixers Celtics is heating up. It's that time of the year. It's that time of the year where the Sixers are finding their groove. And right now, if the season ended today, the Sixers would in fact be the 2 seed due to just scheduling and one less loss in the loss column than the Celtics have.
They shouldn't even have it, but whatever.
It's
They can't finish games. It's the biggest issue I have. And when it comes to the Sixers, I mean, I'm no idiot. I know the Sixers are a very good basketball team, and they have, obviously Embiid, all that. But the Celtics' biggest issue right now is that they can't finish games and they don't hit shots. Where they're playing the Sixers this week coming up, which, it's a big game. Be a nice win to get, especially going into playoff time to regain that 2 seed. I just don't know. Like, Jaylen Brown is a liability at the free throw line, and that's where it matters most when you want to win games.
It's fun right now for the Sixers. They're playing very well. Sixers are on an 8-game win streak, if I'm not mistaken. All started by ending the Bucks' 16-game winning streak back on March 4th. They've since beaten the Pacers, the Timberwolves, the Blazers on that amazing Joel Embiid near buzzer beater finish in South Philly with 1.1 seconds to go. They beat the Wizards. They beat the Cavs. They trounced the Hornets on Friday. And on Saturday, dismantled the Pacers once again by 20 points, 141-121. The Sixers' upcoming schedule, though, they have 2 games against the Bulls on a back-to-back. It's a home and home, so they'll be in Philly on Monday. And then travel day, then Wednesday night, 8 o'clock in Chicago, before they head out west for 3 games out west against the Warriors, the Suns, and the Nuggets. Tough road trip there. You gotta play with the big dogs if you want to be a big dog. Then they come home for 2 against the Mavericks and the Raptors before essential playoff basketball for 2 games. On the road against the Bucks, at home against the Celtics, and then they wrap up against the Heat at home. That's the final home game of the season for the Sixers. And then they go on the road against the Hawks and the Nets. And then the playoffs are here. It's crazy to think the NBA playoffs are right around the corner.
So insane. They're right around the corner. That is just wild.
The Sixers are playing phenomenal basketball right now. And it's great to see that they're hitting their stride. Embiid, Harden, Maxey all look fantastic. Just hopefully it continues, for our sake here. And I think the biggest test will be that 3-game West Coast road trip, and you throw in that Mavericks game, even though it's at home. Mavericks are still a good basketball team. And then those 2 games on the road, or, not on the road, one's on the road. The 2 games against the top dogs in the East, along with yourself, the Bucks and the Celtics games. That's essential playoff basketball.
Yeah, those are games must-wins for both sides. Yeah,
both sides. That's going to determine the top 3 seeding in the East, because you look at the Bucks' schedule remaining. This is what the Bucks have: Bucks don't play again until Wednesday, when they're home against a terrible Spurs team. Then they go on a 4-game road trip against the Jazz, the Nuggets, the Pistons, and the Pacers. Then on Thursday, March 30th, they're home against the Celtics. So that'll be a dogfight of a game there. And then Sunday, April 2nd, they host the Sixers. Then their final 4 are on the road against the Wizards, and then home against the Bulls, the Grizzlies, which will be a tough game, and then at Toronto.
Yeah, Grizzlies got a lot of shooters.
So that is the Bucks schedule. This is the Celtics' remaining schedule as we come down the stretch. Celtics' next game is Tuesday on the road against Sacramento, a good team this year, surprisingly. They've been playing very well. Then Friday at home against the Pacers, Sunday at home against the Spurs, then Tuesday, March 28th on the road against the Wizards before that road game against the Bucks on March 30th. Then you have a back-to-back there. You come home to play the Jazz. Then you go on the road April 4th to play the Sixers. Then you're home against the Raptors for 2, and then home against the Hawks. Arguably, Celtics have the easiest of the schedules remaining.
Easily.
Where
I would say they have the better.
Your toughest opponents outside of the Bucks and Sixers, it's the Kings. That's easily your toughest.
Who are weirdly the 2 in the West. Like
the Bucks still have a game against the Grizzlies, which is a very tough matchup, even without Ja Morant, if he's back or not, But the Bucks still have to play the Nuggets. That's a tough game.
That's a tough game.
And then they have the Grizzlies in there and the Raptors, who can kind of be pesky, but they're not,
That's a good word to describe the Raptors is pesky. They just
same with the Hawks, and like the Hawks and the Raptors are fighting for that play-in position as well. Like they're trying to make the play-in tournament and everything.
So they have something even more to play for. So that's gonna be.
So they got to win games down the stretch here to kind of fend off the Pacers and the Wizards from getting in for that 10 seed spot. But I mean, the Sixers have the toughest schedule of the 3, having to play the Suns, the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the Bucks, the Celtics. Tough ass schedule down the stretch for the Sixers.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would.
But I mean, the fact that we all play each other in that span too down the stretch is going to
be really good games.
Magnificent, meaningful NBA basketball in April outside of the playoffs, which is super exciting. It's going to determine who's the 1, who's the 2, and who's the 3. Because right now the Bucks are 51-20. The Sixers are 48-22, 2.5 games behind the Bucks. And then the Celtics are 49-23, which effectively has them 2.5 behind the Bucks as well. Mm-hmm. Sixers are only ahead because one less loss in the loss column, and just winning percentage-wise, they're at 686. The Celtics are at 681. I'm excited for this down the stretch. Like those games of Bucks Celtics, Bucks Sixers, and then Sixers Celtics are going to be absolutely electric.
Oh my God, they're going to be so good. That's going to be NBA at its peak this season.
Like
absolutely.
No free ads, so I won't shout out where I'm looking for some of these, but you look at the ticket prices for the Sixers Celtics game right now on April 4th, which is a Tuesday. Cheapest ticket I'm seeing right now, kind of across the board, is over $100 a ticket for a Tuesday night in April.
Fargo?
Yeah.
Okay.
For a Tuesday night in April, it is pretty substantial. Yeah, over $100 ticket.
Yeah.
Cheapest right now on some app, and this is standing room, is $110 at the
really?
Wells Fargo Center. So like that's a hot ticket. That's a playoff game essentially. That's the cheapest you're gonna get a playoff ticket.
Yeah,
for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
So looking forward to the stretch run here of NBA basketball that involves both of our teams, and it's Vamos Los Sixers all the way, baby.
Yeah, cool. I don't know. You put baby in a corner there. You really put baby in a corner there.
Pittsy, talk to the people. You were at the Southeast St. Patrick's Day Parade. Give us a little teaser preview of what's to come for the first official installment of your new Man on the Street series, Pitts on Parade.
Yeah, so I gave the Philadelphians a little taste of how we do St. Patrick's Day in Boston with the, I would say infamous at this point, St. Patrick's Day parade. And I got some interviews, got some man on the street clips. I got some videos of, mis amigos and I, cheering it up, doing some Irish car bombs. So that was fun. For anyone who doesn't know what an Irish car bomb is, it is Guinness, and then you have Bailey's shot, and you drop the Bailey's shot glass into the Guinness and drink it before it curdles. I got mine before it curdled, so pro over here. But yeah, it was a lot. It was a good time. That's why I have zero voice, if you can imagine. And yeah, it was just it's going to be fun. I really like doing it, and it was a good first taste of what is to come with it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see all the footage. It's gonna be on our
Yeah.
YouTube channel. This is Pitts' new content series for Underground Sports Philadelphia. He's gonna be doing a ton of stuff. We have plans for October, which is way down the line, but Comic-Con is going to be a time.
Oh, it's gonna be incredible.
But yeah, looking forward to more of these, and hoping to make it like a weekly type of series on the YouTube channel. But this is going to be the first big installment, your first full blown rodeo. You got a tease of it, everybody, on Super Bowl Sunday. We had a little tease out there for the people with what was to come with Pitts on Parade. But I'm excited, man. I think this is your wheelhouse, and I think it's only going to get better and better the more you continue to
Oh,
go
yeah.
out there with the people, and you're in one of the biggest markets in the country to attack
Oh, and
content wise.
there is a bunch of weirdos out there in the world that just say that. There are a bunch of weirdos that want to talk on camera. So
So I can't wait for all the footage to come in, and we're hopefully going to get this out for the people as soon as possible.
yeah, not
So
tonight. I'll tell you that.
subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss out on that. We'll have interview clips from the video on our Instagram and on YouTube Shorts and everything. But definitely go check out Pitts, because that content is going to be, I think, some of the best shit we put out from this company ever.
Yeah, I hope so. I really do.
Looking forward to it. Make sure you guys are following us at Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/Underground Sports PHI. Follow Pitts on Twitter at Pat_Pitts and Pittsy35 on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and KBIZZLE11 on Instagram. And of course, Underground Sports Philadelphia is presented by the City of Vineland. The City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. Maybe we'll have to look at the calendar and have Pitts come to a big event in Vineland
Oh
to
my
Pitts on
God.
Parade.
You want it. The people want it. The people need it.
There might be one that we might need to get you down here for, like
There's
next
gotta
month.
be one.
The
always
Isaiah
invite
Pacheco
them.
Parade. We might have to
That-
have you.
Dude, that is Pitts on Parade with Pacheco. The P's are all there.
All the P's. P's and Q's, baby.
So my P's and Q's. Oh,
The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. Through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. Also, big shout out to our sponsors who make this show happen, along with the City of Vineland, Main Auto LLC, Security 21 Security Systems, Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated, the Dental Wellness Center of Vineland, and our awesome merch partners, PHI Apparel Company. Go to phiapparel.co. Use code Underground for 10% off any and all orders. It's the best and most effective way to support us and everything we're doing here. When you get your merch, tag us. We want to see where you're rocking your merch from. And PHI Apparel Company will be part of our live tailgate series this summer during baseball season, which we will have a ton of details for Monday afternoon. So by the time you're listening to this, details about our podcast Tailgate Series will be out for April 8th, 2023. Be ready. It's going to be magnificent. But this has been episode number 517 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the City of Vineland. For Pittsy, I'm KB. Shout out to CD Deuce. Go do your thing in Detroit, brother. And we'll be back live on Wednesday night, getting set for the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, along with anything else that pops up across the board in the Philly sports universe. But until then, I'm KB. For Pittsy, we're getting the heck up out of here, and we're signing off. Peace.